Hi guys, JT here. With every Humble Monthly, the question is, what are the games like? Well, here's a bit of information on each game in May 2025's Humble Monthly, to help you decide if it is for you. By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle, and have the opportunity to gain early access to videos by buying a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Thank you Terry D for being in the early access army through Buy Me a Coffee. Your support means the world to me, and I absolutely appreciate it beyond words can say. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1. The feature game of this month, the Thaumaturge Deluxe Edition, a story-rich tactical RPG set in pre-World War I Russia, blending occult mystery with turn-based combat and investigative gameplay. You step into the boots of Victor, a gifted thaumaturge who communicates with spirits to solve a personal mystery wrapped in historical upheaval. The game hooks you with its unique setting and psychic detective work, but be warned, it starts slowly and expects patience as you unravel its dense, lore-heavy world. You'll spend a lot of time investigating, reading emotions tied to objects, speaking to locals, and piecing together clues in morally grey situations. The narrative lets you lean into Victor's sin of pride, which affects dialogue choices and adds a subtle role-playing element. Combat, while turn-based, becomes more tactical once you harness your spirit allies called Saluters, who offer powers like madness infliction or HP leeching. Early fights can drag, but once you understand timing and ability synergy, the system gets rewarding and surprisingly challenging. The world is not open, but it feels large enough. You move between atmospheric districts of Warsaw by cart or subway, and while exploration is not groundbreaking, the historical cameos and spiritual mechanics give it edge. The visuals are striking, though some character models feel a bit stiff, and the forgettable music rarely detracts, but never impresses. If you love story-driven RPGs with occult flair, deep world building, and methodical combat, this is one you'll want to explore, especially with the Deluxe Edition's extras sweetening the deal. Just give it time to reveal its magic. The Deluxe Edition includes the base game, alternative HUD design, in-game cosmetic packs, digital art book, the original soundtrack, a 3D printable figurine, a gallery of atmospheric wallpapers, and a digital map of Warsaw showcasing selected game features. And number 2 we have Amnesia, the Bunker, a first-person horror game that thrusts you into a claustrophobic World War I bunker, forcing you to outwit a terrifying beast while managing scarce resources. The game places you in the boots of Henry Clement, a French soldier who must navigate through dark labyrinthine corridors to survive. The bunker transforms Amnesia's familiar sense of dread into an immersive sim experience, reminiscent of Alien Isolation. Instead of merely running and hiding, you're now planning your every move, rationing fuel for the generator, and scrounging for supplies to keep the lights on and the creature at bay. Every sound you make, whether cranking a flashlight or smashing a door, heightens the risk of the monster's imminent arrival. Yet, stealthy alternatives, like finding hidden vents or using cinder blocks to quietly break locks, add a strategic layer that keeps you on edge. The game excels in sound design, with every distant artillery boom, scurrying rat, or guttural growl sending chills down your spine. You'll often find yourself debating whether to use your last bullet to defend yourself, or save it for a locked door later on. Though its story is more straightforward than previous entries, piecing together Henry's role through scattered notes adds depth and emotional impact. The unpredictable randomized item placement and the ever-present threat ensure that no two playthroughs are the same, making Amnesia the Bunker an intense, nerve-wracking experience you will not soon forget. And number 3 we have Evil West. Evil West is an absolute blast, offering a gleeful splat-em-up experience that delights in its absurdity and relentless action. From terrifying werewolf encounters to electrifying brawler combat reminiscent of classics like God of War and Arkham games, this game keeps you on the edge of your seat with its over-the-top gameplay. Set in the Wild West overrun by monsters and vampires, Evil West thrusts you into the role of a fearless hunter, delivering a thrilling narrative that propels you forward into greater slaughter. With stunning visuals capturing various western landscapes and a perfect blend of traversal and puzzle elements, Evil West offers a refreshing and immersive experience. The game's progression system, filled with upgrades and perks, ensures that you evolve from a cautious survivor to a formidable force to be reckoned with. While some may encounter technical issues, the overall experience remains wonderfully brutal and charming. With the addition of online co-op for 2 players, Evil West offers even more excitement for those looking to team up with a friend. In essence, Evil West is a beautifully crafted video game that revels in its simplicity, delivering a nostalgic yet exhilarating journey filled with werewolves, electrifying combat, and non-stop action. Whether you're facing hordes of monstrous enemies or exploring the game's stunning western landscapes, Evil West keeps you engaged with its variety and sheer fun factor. With its blend of old-school charm and modern gameplay mechanics, this game is sure to leave players craving more of its electrifying mayhem. So settle up, partner, and prepare for an unforgettable ride through the wild and wicked world of Evil West. And number 4 we have Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew. A squad-based stealth strategy game where you command a cursed crew of undead pirates in a supernatural high-seas setting. You'll be navigating a series of complex missions on tropical islands, dodging cyclones, hiding in bushes, and executing synchronized takedowns, all while quick-saving and reloading your way to perfection. It fully embraces save scumming, not as a crutch, but as a core mechanic and narrative device. Your ship, the Red Marley, literally gives you the power to rewind time, turning each mission into a magical puzzle box. Each crew member offers wild creative powers: blink through shadows, possess patrolling guards, or grow bushes from nowhere. You get to choose your 3-person squad for each sortie, encouraging endless combinations and clever solutions. While the first act eases you in, the campaign ramps up to deliver 30 hours of brainy stealth challenges and delightfully absurd pirate banter. What makes this game unique is not just the magic or mayhem, it's the flexibility. Missions are not rigid puzzles with one answer. They are open-ended sandboxes where nearly any approach can work if you're clever or persistent enough. The result is a game that feels like Dishonored meets XCOM, but with more rum, more skeletons, and fewer rules. It might lack the laser-focused design of Desperados 3, but it more than makes up for it in charm and replayability. Whether you're a veteran of the genre or just love pirates, this is a stealthy gem worth plundering. And number 5 we have Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes. A turn-based RPG that channels the heart and ambition of classic 90s adventures, especially Suikoden, while delivering its own sprawling and heartfelt tale. You step into the shoes of Noah, a young leader swept into a war against an empire. But this is not just his story. It is a true ensemble epic. Over 100 unique characters can join your cause, from magical girls to talking capybaras, each adding flavor to your growing alliance. Somehow, even the most outlandish characters feel grounded, thanks to razor-sharp writing that makes motivations instantly clear. Combat-wise, it is 6-on-8 turn-based mayhem that prizes party synergy over reactive tactics. Rune lenses allow customization, and a powerful auto-battle option streamlines much of the game, sometimes too much. But flashy animations and character-driven AI quirks keep things visually and emotionally engaging. Outside of battle, the game keeps throwing surprises your way. Fishing, racing, minigames, and even town building at your Alliance HQ. It's not that any single activity is deep, it's that together they create a pulse, a rhythm, that keeps you moving forward and emotionally engaged. Visually, it is a love letter to HD 2D style, mixing pixel art with modern lighting, though it stumbles slightly with performance in busy areas. Still, the experience is rich, rewarding, and deeply human. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes does not reinvent the genre, but it doesn't need to. It's a celebration of everything you love about RPGs: character, community, and the thrill of adventure. By the end, you'll feel like part of something bigger. And number 6 we have Star Wars Bounty Hunter, a remastered take on a 2002 LucasArts classic, bringing Jango Fett's story to a new generation of gamers. Set shortly after The Phantom Menace, the game immerses you in the criminal underworld as Jango, who accepts a contract from Count Dooku to eliminate Komare Vosa, a fallen Jedi. This mission unfolds an intriguing backstory that adds depth to Fett's character and his ties to the Sith. The gameplay centers on bounties, exploration, and combat, with Fett's iconic dual pistols, flamethrower, whipcord, and wrist rockets offering strategic variety. Once you unlock the jetpack, traversal becomes faster and more dynamic. Despite remastered graphics, the game's age shows in its repetitive environments, stiff controls, and lack of an in-game map. These elements can make navigation frustrating, especially when you're lost in areas with similar-looking walls. Combat is a mixed bag. Lock-on targeting works well for single enemies, but struggles in chaotic encounters, while auto-shooting lacks precision. Running and gunning often simplifies combat, making some boss fights feel underwhelming. Still, The story's engaging narrative and nostalgic Star Wars atmosphere will keep you hooked. For fans of the original, the remaster is a chance to revisit classic gameplay with improved visuals. Newcomers can explore Django's journey and iconic settings like Coruscant and Tatooine, along with lesser-known locales like Felucia. Hidden collectibles and unlockables, including a Marvel comic and hilarious outtakes, add replay value. If you can overlook its dated mechanics, Star Wars Bounty Hunter is a thrilling dive into the galaxy, far, far away. At number 7 we have Ultros, a psychedelic time-looping Metroidvania that challenges how you explore, fight, and grow, literally. You're dropped into a surreal alien biosphere, a cosmic womb pulsing with life and color, tasked with stopping an eldritch god from being born. Standard enough until death resets the clock and sends you back to the beginning. But Ultros isn't just looping time, it is looping everything. Combat, exploration, and even gardening twist back on themselves, forming a meditation of rebirth and symbiosis. What hits first though is the art. Blindly vibrant, sometimes too much, it is a gorgeous mess of dripping neon fluids, glowing fruit, and fleshy temples. It is overwhelming, but thankfully customizable. The combat is satisfying, with air juggles and parries that explode enemies into nutritional meat. At first you'll mindlessly slash through everything, but eventually you'll learn restraint. Different attacks you'll better meet, encouraging variety and respect for even the smallest foe. Then there's gardening. You plant, graft, and splice alien flora into bridges, platforms, and solutions. It starts optional, then blossoms into the game's best system. The final layer is networking every flower, growing a living circuit that reframes your understanding of space. The writing fumbles, dense with alien jargon and abstract poetry, but beneath it lies a genuinely thoughtful narrative about cycles and connection. Ultros does not always push you to engage deeply, but if you lean in, you'll find something rare, a game that makes you want to preserve, not destroy. It is a strange, heady trip, and once you finish, you may never look at your enemies or your ecosystem the same way again. At number 8 we have Corpse Keeper, a grim dark action strategy roguelite where you command 3 undead warriors to battle through a cursed medieval world under a strict time limit. Your goal is to kill the demon buried deep in the cathedral. You build your army from the corpses of your enemies, crafting new warriors from scavenged bones and flesh. But nothing lasts. Your fighters decay with every outing, forcing constant adaptation. This brutal decay system means you can't rely on a perfect squad. You have to think ahead, manage resources, and take calculated risks on every run. Combat is where Corpse Keeper swings wildly. While swordplay feels weighty and rewarding when it clicks, timing is everything. You'll parry, dodge, and strike in duels that borrow from Sekiro and Dark Souls, but through a roguelike filter. Enemy AI parries you back, making fights tense rather than mindless. But clunky UI, ugly 3D models, and an occasionally janky camera can drag things down. The variety of playable corpses, layered movesets, and timing-based combat offer real depth, but some mechanics, like combo strikes or meta progression, feel undercooked, and the repetitive loop starts to show once you have seen a few runs. Still, animating your own Frankenstein army for brutal duels is undeniably cool. If you're into experimental roguelites, or want a Souls-like that forces hard decisions between fights, this is worth playing. It is a flawed gem, but a unique one, and there's something deeply satisfying about watching your stitched-together monstrosity take down the cathedral's final horror. And that's all for this month's Humble Monthly. This month's Humble Monthly might not be everyone's loot crate of dreams, but for many of us, this one hits hard. Shadow Gambit alone has people yelling insta-buy, and with Thaumaturge, Evil West, Amnesia the Bunker, and Eiyuden Chronicle in the mix, there's real firepower here. Sure, IGN Plus is the mass topping nobody asked for, but when the main course slaps this hard, who cares? Whether you're here for strategy, scares, or side-scrolling chaos, this month's drop is a huge win. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider unlocking early access to videos by buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.